Hello everybody, and welcome once again to the Commerce World's Strongest Man, back in Malaysia for 2015, and loving it. Now, as you're probably aware, 30 of the planet's most insanely powerful individuals are currently here, battling over 10 places in the final. Today, it's Heat 3, which features Gloucestershire's very own Lawrence Charlet, two-time Britain's Strongest Man. They call him Big Loz. He's looking for a big win, but given who he's been drawn against in Heat 3, it's fair to ask, surely you can't be serious. That's because drawn in Charlet's group is one of the planet's most powerful men, an individual who has redefined strength athletics. If you're going to win the World's Strongest Man title, you have to go through him to do it. Zydrunas Savickas is a living legend. 4 times he has already raised the trophy, and the reigning champion's quest for a record-equalling 5th title is about to begin. Big Z with big ambitions here in Malaysia. Let's see who he and Loz are up against with the complete cast of what, of course, they're calling the Group of Death.
David Nystrom, Sweden.
Benedict Magnusson, Iceland.
Nick Best, United States.
Mikhail Shivlikov, Russia.
Lawrence Charlet, Great Britain.
Zydrunas Savickas, Lithuania.
Well, joining the Channel 5 strongman team this year is Terry Hollands, twice a podium finisher at this competition. Terry, you've known Lawrence Charlet a very long time. What are his chances of getting out of this group?
I mean, apart from having Z in his group, I think he's got a great chance of making the final. Shivlikov could be the only one to cause him any problems, but I see Lawrence going through in 2nd place in this group.
All right, Z as well. He's going for his 5th World's Strongest Man title, which would equal Mariusz Pudzianowski's record. He's 39, though. Any chance he's beginning to slip a little?
Quite simply, no. He's definitely not. I think the determination to win those 5 titles is what's going to push him on to possibly win again this year.
Wow. Let's get straight on to the action then. Event 1 is the loading race. And all set at the Palace of Justice, where any verdicts will be swift and merciless. Colin Bryce and Danny Wallace are your commentators.
Yes, thank you very much. Welcome along. The loading race then. First event, 60 seconds to move 125 kilogram sack and then 2 tyres onto a platform. Let's see who's competing. First of all, we've got Nick Best. He's 46 years old, the 2nd oldest of our 30 guys in Malaysia. Only Mark Felix from Britain beats that at 49.
From Iceland, Benedict Magnusson.
Benny Magnusson from Iceland. Big power lifter, this guy, one of the best in the world.
Mikhail Shivlikov.
And Shivlikov, a former Marine and a manager at a security company. In other words, treats him with politeness. So it's Magnusson's debut, isn't it, Colin? This will be interesting to see.
Yeah, we've been waiting this for quite some time. He got injured last year when we expected to see him turn up. Look at the size of those quads, massive. Does he have the speed? Yes. Now, handling awkward objects, that's what these are. These tyres are so dense, 350 pounds each.
That's the thing, to the untrained eye, it doesn't look too bad. They're very, very heavy.
Yeah, they're not air-filled, they're steel-filled and dense rubber.
Best doing very well there, running back for the final tyre.
We've seen before in another heat, this is a very hard task to finish. They only have 1 minute, 20 seconds to go, and what's up? Best can barely get off the ground. You really can't conceive how heavy these are. Now, this is neck and neck.
Just 10 seconds to go, and it is neck and neck. Will anyone manage this? It seems very unlikely. In fact, it seems impossible.
Shevnikov's giving it a good go.
Too late for the Marine there, but just for the sake of completion, does it anyway. Sadly, you don't get extra points for that, but Nick Best is the winner there. 2 objects, 31.25. Shivlikov 6 behind that, and Magnusson 5 behind that.
Yeah, all 3 men just doing 2 implements, and in the end it came down to Best doing them the quickest.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from Sweden.
So now taking part, Nystrom. It's his first appearance here at World's Strongest Man. Former Swedish bench press champ. And representing Britain, a firm favourite. Loz Charlet. Two-time Britain's strongest man, that guy.
From Lithuania,
Savickas, the living legend. 14-time Lithuania's strongest man and a 4-time winner in this competition. Expecting big things here.
Yeah, Big Z, as he's known. He'd love to get that 5th, equal Mariusz Pudzianowski of Poland. 39 years old now, but still as strong as ever and looking in good shape as well, leading the pack here onto these tyres now. They are very awkward. We've seen that. Who's got the technique? Who's picked it up quickly?
Seems very even at this point. But no, Big Z.
He always finds a way. He's just got so much raw power, and when it's awkward like this tyre, that's when it is really shown. No, Charlotte, he's doing well here if he can get this up.
Charlotte is doing well. If he can get this onto his shoulders and march it across, but he is struggling. Big Z making light work of it. Just coming up to 10 seconds to go. He's done that.
I think he'll be the only one who's going to complete this task. 3 and 51 seconds or thereabouts. Nystrom now, they're running out of time. And Charlotte, he's totally run out of gas, Lawrence.
Well, there you go. Savickas, that's why he's won this competition 4 times in the past.
And he looks cool as ice, as ever.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, you're right, actually. It looks pretty hot. It is well hot out there, 35+ degrees.
So Charlet there. Managed 2, 29.08.
Yes, both heats down, so second place, still 5 points, whether he'd done all 3 or not. That's actually a very good finish for him, but well, Zadrunas, he's the man. Let's hear from Lawrence now. He's with Charlie Webster.
Lawrence, second place, that was fantastic. But first, can you just talk us through that second tyre? Seems to get everybody.
You go from the sack, pretty standard for us. We're used to things like that, but the tyres are so dense and heavy. They don't look as big, but they're really, really hard to get up to the shoulder. And the second one just kind of completely zapped me. I had a good crack at it and it fell. And I knew I was fairly quick for 2. There was no point trying to catch up with Zadrunas. So I tried to maybe just save a little bit of energy. I wasn't sure if I was second or third, but second place is awesome because I was last on the loading last year.
Well, huge congratulations then. I'll let you go and get yourself ready for the next, so well done in second place.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Thank you.
Charlet off to a great start then. Big Z scoring better with 3 objects, but Lawrence putting time into his other rivals for a qualifying place. Behind him, only fractions separating Nick Best and David Nystrom. There's a long way to go, though, for Lawrence & co, with 5 events still remaining. And our next one looks particularly tough. Coming up on World's Strongest Man, it's hammer time. Welcome back to Malaysia, Heat 3 of World's Strongest Man, where Britain's Lawrence Charlet has thrown down a gauntlet by taking second place in the opening event. Let's rejoin our commentary team for the Norse Hammers.
Thank you very much. Yes, the Norse Hammers, 60 seconds to lift these hammers, then raise them until they are vertical. The hammers must be 180 degrees.
From Russia, Mikhail Shivlikov.
Always smiling, this guy, every time you see him. 5th place after 1 event.
From Sweden, David Nystrom.
Up against Nystrom, just ahead of him.
Ready!
And they're off.
Well, you'd normally tip the man who's taller in this kind of event, that just the leverages work. And he's got better biomechanics, Shevlyakov. He's well over 6 foot tall. And he's got to keep the speed going, drive with his legs, and actually, you want to keep your arms locked. It's really an arm event. Your arms will easily buckle with the strain if they do unbend. Now, we saw before that in Thor Bjornsson's heat, the second heat, that this is a really hard task. Only Bjornsson's finished it so far.
Nystrom seems to be struggling, our Marine there, reaching a crucial point. Can he push through? Yes. Does he have energy for the third?
Well, Shevlyakov, he's got something wrong with his shoulder there, and Nystrom doesn't look too happy either. It's a horrible task, this, it really is.
And that's that for the Norse Hammers. Well, Nystrom, currently second, managed 1 hammer there. 21.85. Shivlyakov, 2 hammers in 43.96. Current leader.
See you.
I really can't stress how much of a stress it is on the body, this event. It's absolutely exhausting, and actually it's quite perturbing having that weight over your head as well.
Benedict Magnusson.
So from Iceland, Benedict Benny Magnusson.
From the
Very
United
focused.
States of America.
Less focused with a dad dance. Nick Best. Yeah! That's right. He's really going to have to impress us now to distract from that dance.
What worries me here is Benny Magnusson is so prodigiously strong in the upper body. He might try and just do all this with his arms. He needs to lock them out. He needs the big muscles in the legs. Actually, you know what? He's doing very well here so far. He's ahead of Best.
Magnusson, a face of fury, manages the first one. Nick Best really struggling now.
Well, it's Best who's actually trying to use the bent arms there. I thought with his experience, he'd know better. So Benny onto this second.
Best is out.
He'll get 0 points for that as well, Danny. He didn't achieve even 1 hammer.
Magnusson's got this, though. You can tell he's not going to let this go. Really struggling to find just a bit more strength. Crowd really getting behind him.
I didn't think he was going to do this, but he just might, you know. Wow, 4 seconds to go as well.
Great performance there from Magnusson. Nick Best struggling a little there, currently 4th.
You can see he's kind of asking questions of himself, what went wrong, but he just didn't attack it with enough power. Well, Benny didn't really either. He didn't do exactly textbook. You should really drive much more with your legs. But he's just such a lump, isn't he, and so strong.
He wouldn't give up. There's someone else who's not going to be giving up today. One of Britain's favourites, flying the flag for Great Britain, Lawrence Charlet.
As a little kid, I used to be fascinated by this sport. I used to love watching it on TV. I was kind of inspired by big, strong guys, and I just kind of fell in love with the sport. It's a sport that involves risk. I've suffered a number of injuries over the last few years. I'm strong and healthy this year and ready to battle. That fire inside, it's kind of like, almost like an evilness. I am mellow and I try and stay quite relaxed 90% of the time, but when it's time to compete and kind of release that inner beast, when you kind of really dig deep and you get your adrenaline flow in and you feel pumped up and ready to lift, suddenly things become a lot easier. That's how you kind of cope with the massive, crazy stuff that we do.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Great Britain, Lawrence Charlet!
The man himself, placing second after one event.
Strongest man from Lithuania,
Up against
Zaviskas!
Zaviskas, 4-time champion. He's the man to beat.
Ready!
Well, in many ways, in the group of death, it's not necessarily about beating Zaviskas. It's just trying to come second and qualify for the final. And look at the way he's plowing through this. That mass that Zaviskas has, his best part of 400 pounds of body weight, it sure does help.
Both men making quite light work of this, it seems. Zaviskas really getting stuck in. Charlet struggling slightly.
They're getting heavier and heavier. Oh, goodness! Oh, there was a shout there. I hope he's all right.
I think that may have glanced his shoulder, Colin.
Yeah, or perhaps something buckled in his arm there, and that's what sent it down. Zaviskas, he did just enough. Looks like an elbow, maybe.
This is not good news for Charlet.
Let's have a look again. Oh, yeah, somehow his arm just gave way there. It wasn't quite fully locked, actually. That was his problem. He was trying to muscle it up, and then maybe a muscle tear, perhaps.
Well, this is not good news for the British favourite.
But he's got a place, 4th place. Of course, if he carries on.
Well, those are the results then for the Hammers. Big Z winning it with a monstrous time ahead of Mikhail Shivlyakov. But what a terrible shame for Lawrence Charlie, out of the competition. Charlie's with him now.
Lawrence, it's nice to see you up and okay, but not with these two ice packs strapped on either arm. Can you talk us through what happened?
I was just cleaning the second hammer, and I felt like a small pull in my biceps. I'm hoping the bicep's just a little pull. But unfortunately, when I was trying to push it over, my tricep just it felt like a snapping feeling in my arm. I couldn't even stop, it just completely gave way. That's why I fell over. So the fall was probably a bit more dramatic than it looked, but I think the triceps kind of completely snapped. Just got to go back to the doctors now and hopefully find out exactly what it is, but unfortunately that's me done.
You have had a few injuries over the past years as well yourself.
Yeah, I haven't had the best luck in the world over the last 3 years. I honestly think that's probably the last time you'll see me here now as well, because I've literally torn way too many muscles now in my body, and it's getting so tough. These guys are awesome and the weights are incredible, and I've had some days where I could really hang with them, but I think I'm done.
Well, an emotional end to Lawrence's challenge for now, but it's not the way he'd want to bow out at World's Strongest Man, and we're all hoping this ever-popular strongman will be back again soon. Meanwhile, in Heat 3, no big surprise to see who's ruling the roost after 2 events, Zydrunas Savickas, and once again, a scramble behind him for the other qualifying spot. What awaits the athletes next? It's back to Charlie.
And now it's time for our squat event, where to test the athletes this year, we have a giant barbell weighing 320 kilograms. That's like having a giant panda sat on each end of the bar. But over the years, the squat has produced some classic World's Strongest Man moments.
Let's just see how many of these lovely ladies our strong fellas can lift.
No trouble there. He's done it in sheer competitiveness there.
969 pounds.
Oh, it's perfect. Well, you heard it from Charlie there. The squat lift, having a couple of pandas on a bar. The way we all lift pandas all the time. 60 seconds to do it as many times as possible. Shivlyakov there. Smiling a little bit, usually is. Nick Best and David Nystrom have both tried this. They didn't manage any reps. Let's see if Shivlyakov can do any better.
Well, one thing's for sure, he'll try his absolute best. I've seen him badly injured before, and he'll still try and carry on. He's a tough, tough man, this former Marine from Russia. Now, slowly down. That's the sensible thing to do on the first one. Get into the groove. 325 kilos on your back. You've got to be careful now. This is looking good.
Already up to 3 reps. And a 4th. Gonna wonder how many more he can do. He's looking very strong.
He just touched on one side there. As long as you make a noise, ooh, that's when it can become problematic.
There's that smile again.
He enjoys himself, doesn't he? Ooh, just leant forward a bit there.
6 reps, very, very impressive there from the Russian. So obviously the current leader with the squat lift.
Going down to what is almost parallel with his thighs. That's the depth of a squat, and then back up again.
Please welcome, from Lithuania, the reigning World's Strongest Man, Zydrunas Savickas!
Here he is, Big Z. And as we heard, the reigning World's Strongest Man. Also the leader after 2 events. He's got 6 to beat, 6 reps.
Well, it feels like almost a lifetime ago. Back when he was a teenager, he was up on the podium at the World Championships in powerlifting. Here he is 2 decades later, still squatting massive weights.
Squat, touch both sides, please, Z.
About 13, 14 years ago, he actually had a double patella rupture as well. Amazing. There's 5, 1 more to equal the Russian.
Now what else can he do? Can he push this further? Yes, very easily. And up to 8 reps, yes, a little bit of blood there. Now that doesn't look like a cut. What is that, Colin?
Well, that's just sheer pressure. He might make it look easy, but even for him, it is hard going. He's holding his breath extremely tight, and that's just, yeah, a little blood coming through the skin there. 9 reps, he didn't need to do all that. That was more for show. A little show to guys like Brian Shaw and Bjornsson in the other heats saying, yeah, I still am the strongest.
Big Z, I think you just completely owned that. We were just talking and you said that in the final last year you managed 15 of that on a heavier one, so you must have been so confident going into that.
I was comfortable before came to this event. I feel good in squat events. It's my second favorite event after log lift.
Yeah, you could tell. And you said that you want to get stronger each year. Compared to last, do you feel that?
In some events I for sure get stronger this year, some events same. I enjoy to get stronger every year.
Thank you very much and well done.
Thank you.
Impressive character. Magnusson then,
Ladies
Benny
and
Magnusson.
gentlemen, please welcome from Iceland, Benedict Magnusson.
One of the big characters of this sport. Tied for third at the moment. Psyching himself up.
He's known for going crazy. Well, powerlifting champion. I guess his best discipline and the one he's most famous for is the deadlift, but boy, can he squat too with those big legs. Of course, that's on a normal bar. Let's see how he handles this strongman style.
Oh dear.
Oh, I think he's hurt himself there. He
certainly has. People rushing towards him now. There's 1 rep. Growling like a dog there. Not happy.
Well, let's just take another look here. He starts to come back up. He just hit the bottom a little strangely and it kicked the bar, put him off balance a bit, and then he said damaged something in his right knee.
Those giant pandas proving deadly then. Benny, the latest victim in this group of death, 3rd place in the squat behind Big Z and Shivlyakov, but out of the competition. Magnusson helped by his fellow countryman Hapthor to the medical tent with a ruptured right quad muscle as Heat 3 comes down to 4 men. And the pressure is on 2 of them, Best and Nystrom, who desperately need to make a move if they are to challenge for a top 2 place. Above them, Shivlyakov looking good in second, but all eyes are on Big Z. 3 events and 2 men down. Let's hope the rest fare better when Heat 3 returns. Welcome back to World's Strongest Man in Malaysia. Midway through Heat 3, and so far it's looking easy for Big Z, but behind him, well, it's carnage. Zadrunas, the only man to complete all 3 objects in the loading race, with Lawrence Shiley the best of the rest. But when it came to the Norse hammers, disaster struck for Lawrence, tearing both his bicep and tricep and out, as we've heard, from the competition. As for Z, well, he took maximum points again. In the squat lift, Z again set the pace with an incredible 9 reps, although this time the effort was all too visible. But behind him, another man was out, Iceland's Benny Magnusson with a torn quad. 2 men down then in this heat, and with another David Nystrom suffering from a groin injury, the busiest people so far have almost been Dr. Richard Smith and his medical team. We asked them if strongman was becoming more dangerous. We're seeing a lot of ruptured tendons this year, particularly in Heat 3. Doc, is strongman getting more and more dangerous?
The simple answer to that is no. This is an extreme sport, and you're a normal human being. The tendon is probably the strongest structure in the body. With these guys, their muscles are far stronger than the tendon. So the muscles can easily squat 400 kilograms. The tendons can't. And it's the tendons that snap or rupture or are pulled away from the bone. And when that happens, it's catastrophic.
Lawrence Shiley, after that injury, saying he won't be back. Based on what you know of him and his injuries, will we see him compete again?
Well, I've worked with Lawrence back in the UK, and he's one of the strongest, most determined, focused individuals I've ever met. However, last year in Europe, whilst breaking the world record for deadlift, he ruptured his latissimus dorsi. This year, he's ruptured his bicep and he's ruptured his triceps. It's possible, and if anyone can do it, he'll do it.
Heat 3 then with a reduced workforce, but they've still got some big overheads, as we discover now in event 4, the dumbbell press. As ever, your commentators in Putrajaya are Colin Bryce and first, Danny Wallace.
Thank you. I found all that very harrowing to listen to, if I'm honest. I'm not sure if this is the group of death. It's certainly the group of cold compresses. It's the dumbbell press now. How many times can you lift that within 60 seconds? It's roughly the same weight as your average washing machine. You must lift it above your head and straighten your arm. So Nystrom gave it a go. Managed 2 reps. He is the current leader. Now we turn our attention to Nick Best from America.
Nick Best.
He really needs to start making a move now in the second half of the qualifier. But with Nystrom only on 2 reps, this could be his chance, Colin.
I mean, it could be, yeah. The one weakness Best does have is overhead, actually. He's always got a terrible lockout as well. His elbows, all the years of training and competing, they don't actually go straight, which can make things a little tricky here.
Now, he's changed arms, though.
Yeah, I mean, it just shows he's very proficient with both. He trains both, and it's a good idea. It stops you fatiguing.
Will he be able to lift this? No.
Yeah, the elbow didn't lock there.
In this event in 2011, he managed no reps. So already he's ahead of himself.
Yeah, I mean, one thing about Nick Best is he's extremely determined. Let's not forget, 2 times world powerlifting champion in the 90s. He's still going strong. He's really quite a guy. I mean, he's not happy with that 3 reps. He thought he got 4 there, but it definitely didn't lock his elbow. But you're right, Danny. He's come on a country mile since this event was first introduced at World's Strongest Man. He's trained hard.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from Russia, Mikhail Shivlakov.
It's old Smiler then. 3 reps to beat.
Ready, left.
Chalk application there. It's a strong start.
Yeah, he doesn't quite hold the dumbbell round behind his head far enough. Just makes balancing it as he jerks it overhead a little tricky. Let's see if he does any better with that one. Of course, every dumbbell's different. No doubt he's built one back in Omsk in Russia. But this is a unique shape here at the World's Strongest Man. You see how thick that handle is as well. I mean, it's like a can of pop. It's very thick. All adds to the balance.
Well, he has equaled Nick Best, but can he push forward? 15 seconds left. He's certainly learnt some dancing from Nick Best.
Yeah, some guys get really aggressive during competition. Not our Russian Marine.
He's done it. 4 reps and another big smile. Another dance, maybe? Just kisses and smiles with this guy. He seems pretty relaxed. A few of them do. Why is that, Colin?
Well, you know, he's done 4 reps. He's gone ahead of Best. He'll be pleased with that. That was probably his target. You know, he's not really thinking about Zaviskus. He knows Zaviskus is going to go through anyway, so happy with that, I think.
World's Strongest Man, Zaviskus.
And here he is, Zaviskus. So he's won this competition 4 times. If he wins it one more time, he will equal the record of Pujanovsky, Pole, who's won it 5 times. And he'll pull away from Sigmarsson and for Magnusson too.
Ready, left.
4 reps to beat. Here's the first one.
Yeah, the importance of this competition isn't lost on Zaviskus. He's down to probably 3, 4, 5 competitions a year. He used to do 20, 25. He really looks after his body, gets it perfectly in tune for the World's Strongest Man. I mean, it's not so much his age, now in his late 30s. He's just been hitting it so hard. 2 decades of great competition. He's just equaled Shevlyakov, and one more.
He looks like he's tiring, though, Colin. He looks like he's tiring here. But no, pulls through. 5.
Yeah, but he looks so deceptive. Even Shevlyakov's laughing. He knew Big Z would get ahead of him. He'll just go at Big Z pace.
To be fair, that guy will laugh at anything.
Z does it again.
Big Z roars again with 5 reps, and Shivlyakov with 4 to mean he's also in with a shout. The Russian keeping Best and Nystrom at bay once again. And the standings show that with 2 events left to go, it looks almost impossible for them to wrest second place from the man in the beret. As for top spot, or 24 points from 24 for Big Z, it's another vintage year from the champion.
It was a dream to win the 4th World Strongest Man title. Great to be in one line with John Paul Sigmarsson and Magnus Magnusson. Only Mariusz Pudzianowski won 5 World Strongest Man titles. To join him will be a big honor for me. I am 39 years old and I compete in strongman sport already 24 years. And still I am one of the best athletes in this sport. I keep competing because I want to be strongest ever.
And who can stop him? Back to the action then in Heat 3, and Charlie and Terry have news of the next challenge awaiting us in Putrajaya.
It's our penultimate event, the one we all love, the truck pull. Well, in this case, a very big double-decker bus. Terry, you completely dominated this, the truck titan. And we know that the start is so important, but how would you approach it?
I mean, I'd be looking to pick the rope up, pull the rope in as tight as you possibly can, literally, so you can almost feel it pulling out your hands. And then you're going to get your feet together, big pull and a big push with your legs at the same time, as soon as that whistle goes. And then sometimes when it's a really heavy pull, I'd take a couple of steps and go through that process again.
So it's a little slack as possible.
Yep.
In this group, we've got Big Z, the defending champion, dominating, but what about that second qualifying spot?
I mean, Misha's in a good position, so he looks like he's going to take second place, but if Nick Best or David Nystrom have a real good run at this event, give himself a chance of making the final with the double points on the stones.
Well, thanks, Terry. It's time for our guys to take the strain of 17.5 tons.
Yes, 17.5 metric tons, this bus. They've got 60 seconds to pull it 25 metres if they can.
Please welcome, from the USA, Nick Best.
Now, Nystrom's already had a go at this, only managed 15.16 metres. So it's down to Best. See if he can do better.
Train, ready, pull!
Well, just a note on the course here. After it gets to nearly 20 metres, there's a slight uphill section. So the two really tricky parts are, of course, getting over this inertia, getting it moving, getting the momentum going. Very, very short staccato steps here just to try and get it going, and then he'll get into his pace. But hopefully, he's got it at a speed, and he's got the fitness to get past that 20-metre mark.
He's determined to do well here. This is the penultimate event. Double points in the Atlas Stones a little later on, a chance for everyone to pull away. But really, they want to rack up the points now.
You can see the arms working very hard as well. That's key. Don't just use your legs and body weight. You've got to use every muscle you've got.
10 seconds to go now. Close to the finish line will Best get.
He's certainly beaten Nystrom anyway.
And that's that.
Well, 20.65 metres. It's not a finish, but I mean, this is one difficult bus pull. This would have been worthy of the final, to be honest. Let's look at the start again there. Yeah, really driving with his legs and putting as hard as he can with his arms in unison.
Representing Russia, Mikhail Shivlyakov.
Well, let's see what Shivlyakov can do.
Take the strain! Ready, pull!
Big lean forward to begin with. Struggling. Sorting through this, Colin. This doesn't look...
Well, you know, he's just not that heavy a man, Shivlyakov. Wait till you see Big Z go at this. His body weight makes a huge difference. Think of a tug-of-war team. You don't want to take on people that are bigger than you. Mass pulls mass. But now he's got it moving. He's quite an athlete. He can just keep going through the gears, get the momentum up. No doubt he's very fit as well. We know he's a former Marine. Keeps himself in great shape.
20 seconds to go now. Will he Best?
Well, that 20-metre marker is roughly where Best got to, and he's zoning in on that. I don't think he'll finish this, though.
Big question is, will he still be all smiles?
I think it's more like bring on the oxygen. That little hill at the end just finished him.
There's your smile. He's not going to let us down.
Right.
He really is a happy man, Mikhail Shivlyakov.
Well, he's done well. 20.9 metres, the current leader.
Yeah, lots to smile about. Looks like he may well make the final thanks to that performance, but of course we still have the double points in the final event, the Stones. Has he given too much here?
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from Lithuania, the reigning world's strongest man, Žydrūnas Savickas.
Well, here we are, Savickas. Let's watch the strongest man in the world pull a bus.
Take the strain! Ready! Pull!
He's kind of got it all, hasn't he, in terms of the makeup of his body, overall strength.
Yeah, I mean, he's just a big man, is the Big Z. And a massive chest, must be best part of 60 inches round. And it's actually athleticism. He might not look like a classic athlete, but believe you me, Žydrūnas, he'd put in a mean 30-meter sprint if he had to. He's just wildly powerful and explosive. And look at this, he's not wasting any energy, perfectly straight, he's not staggering around. Everything's proficient.
Plenty of time as well, more than 20 seconds to get that bus to the end.
He's doing this, no problem. In fact, he doesn't even need to do any more. He's going to let it cruise.
No. The world's cockiest man, ladies and gents. 49.67. Big Z's done it.
Yes, and with that, he's qualified for the final. He doesn't even need to do the double-point stones. That's how impressive he is. Let's just look at that again. As he came over the finish line, to be honest, I don't think it was cockiness. He knew he'd beaten Shevlyakov and Best. The fact that it finished is quite cool.
That's cocky. That's cocky.
Easy does it then for Savickas. Big Z, the only man to complete the course. Behind him, Shevlyakov just pipping Best for second place, dragging that bus 25 centimetres further. So Z's still in the hunt for a record-equaling 5th crown. Double points in the final event means Shevlyakov can still be caught, but the Russian's got to feel confident of joining Savickas in the final. Top work from Z and the boys. Now we'll have more to amaze you here in Malaysia very, very shortly as the Atlas Stones provide the climax of Heat 3. Welcome back to Commerce World's Strongest Man, where Heat 3 has proved vicious. Britain's Lawrence Charlet and Icelander Benedikt Magnusson both forced to withdraw from the competition through injury. 4 men remain now as the Heat reaches its climax in Putrajaya, all battling for places in the final. This man is already through, defending champion Žydrūnas Savickas. To decide the other qualifying place, it's the Atlas Stones. Double points are available in this event this year, but with a 10-point lead over Nick Best, Shevlyakov needs just 1 stone to advance to the final. Can he get it? Let's find out with our commentators, Colin and Danny.
Thank you very much. So yes, the Atlas Stones, 60 seconds to raise these very heavy stones onto a platform.
From Sweden, David Nystrom.
So there's the big Swede, placing 4th. It's his first time here at this competition. Big Z, already qualified. He can just do this for fun.
Yeah, and I guess he is. You know, it's a training run before the final. They're going to do this event again in the final. The only thing is, the floor is a little slippy. We've had a rainfall. I think he'll probably take this pretty slowly. Nystrom, well, his chances of the final, they don't really exist anymore. But he got to a World's Strongest Man contest. And I think for him that was half the battle, really.
Big Z really using his chest there, almost to propel the stone onto the platform.
Yeah, the power belly, as it's known. I mean, some of these guys look like they're fat, and then you push your finger into Z's belly, and it's just rippling with muscle. It's quite bizarre, actually.
It's not something I would do.
No, not necessarily.
15 seconds. Nystrom can attempt to do this. He's struggling a little. They are getting heavier.
Yeah, I mean, that's nearly 200 kilograms, that, 440 pounds. It's a serious weight.
So already qualified, but doing it anyway. Big Z, Savickas.
3 stones and 33.79 from Sweden. Let's hear it for David Nystrom.
Some well-deserved applause there, I think, for Nystrom.
Well, arguably the greatest strongman in history, through to the final again. And the firefighter from Sweden, he'll have enjoyed going against Big Z.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome, from the United States of America.
So for this guy, Nick Best, this is really about pride. because Shivlyakov only needs to raise 1 stone, doesn't he, to qualify for the final.
USA, Russia, here we go. But really for Best, he's not actually in the race. It's all down to Shevlyakov.
Best has pulled ahead, but he's done it. He is through to the final of the world's strongest man. So let's see what Best can do in the name of pride.
Yeah, I mean, he'll be kicking himself over the missed opportunities he had, you know, feeling faint and not doing any Norse hammers at all. I mean, that's a huge shame. He did them easily in training when they tried them a couple of days ago, and, well, Shevlyakov, 2 stones, that's all he had to do.
Always smiling, Colin.
And his first final coming up. Ticket home for Best, I'm afraid. Hopefully we'll see him again. 46 years old, still training hard. Well, there was the second stone. It was only the first stone, as you said, Danny. That was the one that mattered.
And he was out. Done enough.
Nick saving the best until last, but it's too little too late. His 12 points still not enough to progress this time around. Big Z and Mikhail go through, and here's Charlie with our latest 2 finalists.
Big Z, congratulations too. You were already through, but you're going to actually assist Mikhail and be his translator. So could you please ask him, sorry Mikhail, how did you approach the Atlas stones?
Как ты настроился на атлас камни?
Ну, уже было известно, что мне достаточно было всего одного атлас камня поднять, чтобы быть в финале. И поберегли силы для финала.
Big Z, over to you.
Misha lift just 1 stone because it was enough to go to final. And me also lift 3 stones because it was enough to go to final. And I need to save some energy, and also it's 6th event in qualifier, so a little bit tired for sure.
Okay, so it's all about conserving energy now. So thank you very much, and great translating skills. Thanks, Big Z.
Big Z is the boss. 40 points for the defending champion. Well done to Shivlyakov too, and Nick Best, who made a real go of it. And better luck next time for injury-stricken Benny Magnussen and Lawrence Charlet. Well, make sure you join us next time up for Heat 4, which features potentially one of the stories of this year's competition. Mark Felix, who's never been beaten at deadlift in World's Strongest Man, looking to become, at 49 years of age, the first Brit to make it to the final. Can he do it? We'll see you next time.